r/us credit, cheaters of Reddit. Why did you do it? I was in a relationship with a man who was 8 years older than me and who started grooming me when I was 13. The person I cheated with made me feel genuinely cared for and appreciated. It was something I'd never felt before. I felt safe. It was the first time I slept with someone because I actually wanted to, instead of doing it out of fear. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I'm glad you understand what healthy relationships feel like now. My wife cheated on me. She claims it was an isolated incident, but I'm skeptical. We are still together. My self-esteem and sense of self-worth were initially so terrible, but I've gotten a bit better. I've been eating really well and working out. Arizona heat is great for sweating/burning calories, and I'm in great shape and look really good. But I'm afraid I'll never get over what she did to me. There's a new girl at work and we get along real well, and text/snap a lot. She's also just drop dead gorgeous. Without going into more details, I think there's a good chance I could sleep with her. And I want to do it. I know I should have left my wife a while ago. I know I should leave her now. I know that her cheating on me doesn't make it okay for me to do to her. I know I'm a shitty person. This is the first time I've talked about this. I've considered seeing a therapist. Edit, this was unexpectedly very helpful. I appreciate the responses. I'm going to research a therapist to go to, and I'm not going to seek my coworker in that way. Not sure what will happen with my marriage, but at the very least I'm not going to be a cheater. Thank you all. I just couldn't fight the stress. That slice of pizza looked way too inviting. Jazz music stops*, slow motion slapping pizza slice onto face. I was stuck on a boss and was very frustrated and just wanted to get past it so I can have fun again. But how can you live without this sense of pride and achievement? It's okay. They didn't actually use God mode to do it, they just paid the publisher for overpowered stuff. Pride and accomplishment not only maintained, but *enhanced*. Pride and accomplished is a surprise mechanic that you can only get when feeding EA your paychecks. Just fuck EA. Fuck them with a rusty fucking screwdriver. And similarly fuck the whales who are funding these shitty business practices. I haven't, although she urges me to. We're older. She's menopausal and has lost desire, and I'm facing my end and want to enjoy life. So I have a green light from her, but she is my love, and casual sex is like an oxymoron to me. It's frustrating, I won't lie. My wife has had a couple of side partners who had the same issue as you have. Yes, my wife and I have been in an open relationship for as long as we've been together, 27 years, and she's into older men. These guys have suffered with the same conflicted feelings at first, when their wives gave them the green light due to their lost desire for sex, but these guys eventually worked out their internal conflicts about going to bed with other women, while still deeply in love with their wives. According to my wife, it wasn't an easy process for these men to go through, but it actually made their relationships with their wives stronger. I'm just giving you 2 cents, based on the experience of men who were in your shoes, which may not apply to you. These men were fortunate that my wife was a PhD student in MFT, specializing in sex therapy at the time. Now she's a MFT with her PhD, and she helped them work through their internal conflicts. And no, she wasn't their official therapist. Nonetheless, I hope you work it out eventually. Good luck. I'll try and give a serious answer. Lol. Was in a 7-month relationship that fizzled as quick as it started. We stopped having sex or being intimate. We became roommates real fast. A friend of mine, who I knew long before I met my then GF, got closer and closer to me. To be fair, I never actually cheated, but I caught myself one day texting the other girl non-stop and realized what the end game was. Broke up with my GF a few nights later, ended up dating the other girl for a little under 3 years, until she moved out of the country. This is like the opposite of cheating though, like this is the other option The good, honest, and correct option. Good on you, mate. Yeah, but I guess it was emotionally cheating. I felt really bad regardless, and in hindsight, I transitioned from one to the other super fast. I was really young at the time, 19, freshman in college, so I'd handle it very differently now. My first relationship lasted 3 years. This was all in high school. It should have lasted 2. He was very mean to me, and every time I tried to break it off, things only got worse. So I lied to him, said I was staying home, and then hung out with this guy, who wasn't really my type, but he was nice, and followed me around like a puppy dog, obsessed with me. It made me feel special. I kissed him. He found out I lied about staying home. Next time we met up, I seriously feared for my life. He kept a closer watch on me, suspecting, but not knowing, I had a thing for this other guy. BF1 and I planned to have sex after my birthday. We started dating when I was 15. This was almost 3 years later. I couldn't explain it to him, but after bad encounters early in life, I wanted to be 18 before having consensual sex. I wanted to be an official adult first, as though waiting would stretch out my stolen childhood more. He thought it was stupid. It was. I still can't explain it. A few months before my birthday, my first BF moved to another state. We tried to long distance, his desire, not mine, but eventually things just fell apart slowly. By then the other guy had lost interest, and I was telling him I loved him. I just said it to get him to follow me around like an obsessed idiot like he used to, because it made me feel better about myself. We ended up having sex a few days after my birthday, my first time, while I was technically still long distance dating BF1. I was not sexually attracted to the second guy, I only had sex with him because I thought it would make him value me more. I knew he'd had sex before, and he claimed to be someone's first time as well. I read that bleeding a lot during first time was a myth or very exaggerated. Wrong. I started bleeding so much. Must have been half a cup or more. Not period blood, but fresh, runny blood dribbling out, as though I'd been stabbed with a knife in a major vein/artery. He was like, "Ooh, don't bleed on my bed," so I stood up, and he's like, "Don't bleed on my floor either." He grabbed a paper towel for me, and said with a hint of disgust he was going to take a shower. I laid in his bed with a paper towel stuffed between my legs, feeling like I wanted to cry, but all I could do was stare blankly as emotions of guilt, sadness and disappointment washed over me. I knew your first time was never the best, but I had no idea it would go that way. A couple months later, I survived a suicide attempt, which was really a wake-up call to me that I needed better people in my life or none at all. Eventually BF1 and I connected again, and he told me he had his first time with someone else, so I told him about my experience also. His was not great either. He was finally going to therapy and being medicated, so I felt we could finally talk as adults. He's improved a lot. I'm very happy for him, but I told him we could not ever date again. He was still living far away and was much more meek and agreeable over text than in person. Sorry that was so long and sad, but it has a happy ending. I've been in an actual healthy relationship for a year and a half now, after learning to be comfortable on my own being single, but this guy really supports me and improves my life and brings me up when I'm down, so that's why I'm dating him. I tell him all the time how grateful I'm to have him in my life. No sex for a year. When we did have sex, she'd just lay there. She started going out all the time without telling me who/what/when/where. Always unhappy. Night of main event, other girl starts making major passes. I try to leave and call GF in my car. Rings and rings. More passes from other girl. Call GF again. She clearly hangs up/declines my call. Go back inside to other girl / eternal regret. Edit. A few people are getting caught up on that eternal regret ending. My only Reddit post can fill you in on that drama if you're that curious. Some Jerry Springer stuff right there. I mean, none of that sounds like a healthy relationship. Cheating is an absolutely terrible thing to do, and you should have just left, but good for you, man. Next time make sure it's a sister. After reading this thread, I have realized everybody sounds stupid for why they cheat. Never have cheated, never will. Bunch of people with weak personalities. Too weak to break up with someone they don't love anymore, so they don't have to feel the guilt. Too weak to say no in a situation they should, because they have no self-control. I know this sounds like I'm saying I'm above these people, and it is. Cheat